Is the original plea off the table if the person is convicted for DUI? Attorney Brian Sloan says, 99.9% of the time, yes. It would be extremely rare for someone to get a plea agreement after the jury had found them guilty. I once handled a case in which I represented a client who had been charged with aggravated assaults. I was able to get her a plea agreement for around 8 months in prison plus probation, but she did not want that plea agreement, so she decided to fire me and hire another law firm. That law firm took her to trial, and she was convicted, so she was looking at 3.5 to 15 years in prison. The prosecutor was very reasonable and understood that the client was misled by this new law firm, and that they had told her she had a great case, and that she should not take the plea agreement that I had been able to arrange for her. Even though she was convicted and the jury found that it was a dangerous offense where she was looking at 3.5 to 15 years in prison, the prosecutor, nonetheless, decided to allow her to enter into a plea agreement after the conviction, which was for 1 year in prison instead of the 8 months that I had been able to negotiate for her pre-trial. She was able to take the plea agreement for 1 year in prison. This was an extraordinarily rare situation and something the prosecutor did not need to do. The prosecutor had seen what had taken place and actually demanded that in order for the client to get the benefit of this plea agreement, they would have to state on the record that she apologized to me and that I had provided her with excellent representation. This was a nice gesture, but people cannot be forced to say something nice. So although I did not need that to be a part of the plea agreement, it goes down the path of there being a lot of lawyers out there who feed people a lot of lies to convince them to go to trial. They tell people they have good cases and tell them they are going to win, but when things do not go the way the lawyer says, then the lawyer would have a smile on their face because they have the client's money, and the client would be the one who ended up getting years in prison. I have seen it happen so many times, and this is why I give people honest and good representation at an affordable price. For a free phone consultation, contact Attorney Brian Sloan in Phoenix, Arizona at 480-245-5319 or visit him on the web at www.arizdui.com.